In the dark cold of space, silence ruled. Stars blinked like distant candles, and the empty black seemed endless. But something moved. A sharp black ship slipped through the shadows, nearly invisible. Its body was covered in spikes, shaped like the claws of a beast. Inside, aliens whispered in low tones. They were the Vorak killers, feared across galaxies. They were not soldiers. They were executioners, fast, silent, deadly. Target in sight, hissed one of them. His voice was dry like bone. Captain Jurak, the leader, stood in the center of the command room. His long arms folded behind his back, and his dark eyes stared at the screen. "Is it confirmed?" he asked. "Yes, Captain." "Small Earth vessel, cargo only, weak shield, no escort." Jurak's lips curled. "Good. We strike now, leave no survivors." The ship on their screen looked like nothing special. It was slow, old, and floating gently through Sector 7K, far from any patrol. "Humans are careless," one killer muttered. "They always are," another said. "Soft skin, weak minds, easy prey." Jurak raised a hand. "Prepare to fire." "Lock on." But just before the first shot, the computer beeped. Red letters flashed across the screen. The Vorak technician frowned. "Strange. I'm getting a code from the ship." "What code?" Jurak asked. The technician pressed a few buttons. Then he froze. His eyes went wide. "What is it?" The captain demanded, stepping closer. A single word glowed on the screen. MINI. The room fell silent. For a full 10 seconds, no one moved. Not even a breath. Jurak's voice broke the stillness. It was cold and sharp. "Where did that code come from?" The technician swallowed. "It's in the ship's black box, hidden, encoded under the civilian ID." Another whispered, "It could be a trick." "No," Jurak said slowly. "Not a trick. Not them." His second in command, a tall alien with glowing green eyes, stepped forward. "They are just humans." Jurak turned and looked at him, eyes hard. "Do you know what happened at the Kargan moon?" The green-eyed alien said nothing. Jurak continued. "A full Vorak fleet. 16 ships disappeared. Not one signal. Not one survivor. You think that was just humans? But how?" The alien asked. Jurak stared at the screen, the word Marine still glowing like fire. "They were there," he said quietly. "The ghost soldiers." He turned sharply. "Abort the mission. Pull back, now." "But Captain, do it." Jurak roared. The command room jumped to life. Orders were shouted. The ship turned hard, engines firing. The other Vorak ships followed, and far behind them, the small Earth vessel kept floating peacefully, unaware of the fear it had caused. Inside the ship, the human pilot laughed as he chewed on a sandwich. "Looks like they backed off," he said. Glancing at his console, beside him sat an old man in a simple coat. Gray beard, quiet eyes. He looked like a mechanic. The pilot leaned back. "I told command this fake black box trick was genius. The moment they see the word Marines, they run like scared rats." The old man didn't smile. He looked out the window. "They should be scared," he said softly. The pilot blinked. "Huh?" The old man looked at him, and for a moment, his eyes didn't seem old. They were sharp, like they had seen too much. "You think it's just a trick," he said. "But that code wasn't fake," the pilot frowned. "What?" The old man stood up slowly and walked toward the back of the ship. "I was one of them," he said, "long ago." The pilot stared in silence out far away. Deep inside Vorak territory, Jurak sat alone in his quarters. The lights were dim. His claws tapped slowly on the metal table. A hidden door opened behind him. An elder Vorak entered, ancient, wrapped in black robes. "You saw the word?" the elder asked. Jurak nodded. "Then we leave Earth alone," the elder said. "But we are killers. We don't fear." The elder looked into Jurak's eyes. "That is what they thought. before the Marines came. Jurak remembered the stories. He had never seen them, but he had heard the whispers. Whole planets silenced, ships destroyed with no trace. One Marine said to have walked through fire and shadows, leaving only ashes behind. They fight differently, the elder said. They don't come in armies, just a few, sometimes one. Jurak asked, "How do we defeat them?" The elder did not answer, because there was no answer. Back on the Earth cargo ship, the old man opened a hidden hatch. Behind it were two locked boxes. He placed his hand on a scanner. A soft green light blinked. The boxes opened. Inside, a folded black suit, heavy boots, a helmet with no markings, and a small chip, shaped like a silver skull. He stared at it. For a long moment, behind him, the pilot asked, "Was it true? All those things they say?" The old man smiled sadly. "We didn't want war," he said, "but the galaxy forced it on us. So Earth made something the stars weren't ready for." He picked up the helmet. "We learned your fears, your sounds, your smell, your blood. We trained in silence, in fire, in darkness." He looked at the young pilot. "And when we came, we didn't bring noise. We brought endings." In a hidden galactic council chamber, 10 species gathered. They had seen the Vorak pull back. They had seen the code. A cold silence hung in the air. "We must talk to Earth," one said. Another replied, "You talk to them, I won't." A third whispered, "They have awoken the Marines." "They were supposed to be retired," someone said. "No," another voice cut in. "They were only sleeping." A long pause followed. "What now?" The youngest member asked. An elder councilman leaned forward. "Now. We pray they sleep." Again, that night, across the galaxy, one quiet message moved from station to station. No source, no sender. It read, "They remember, and they are watching." No one knew who sent it, but everyone knew what it meant. And across the stars, warlords, pirates, and killers paused, because the ghosts had stirred, and the word Marines was no longer just a name. It was a warning. The red dust never settled on Mars. Winds howled across empty canyons, throwing sand like knives. The sun was distant, a weak orange glow. The planet seemed dead, but it wasn't. Beneath the surface, deep in the caves of the southern hemisphere, something was moving. The ship landed quietly on a rocky plain. No signal, no lights, only silence. It belonged to the Vorak killers. 20 elite assassins stepped out, their black armor blending with the shadows. Their mission was clear: destroy the rebels hiding on Mars. It was supposed to be simple. Thermal. "Scans show no large force," hissed one of them, checking his device. "Only heat pockets underground." Captain Uxel raised his clawed hand. "Go in, no mercy." The team moved quickly toward the caves, their boots silent, their weapons ready. The air was thin, cold, dry. Inside the cave entrance, the temperature dropped. The red glow of Mars disappeared behind them. Darkness swallowed everything. "Switch to night vision," said UX. All green light filled their helmets. The cave went on forever, twisting like a tunnel dug by a beast. No sounds. No signs of life. "This is wrong," whispered a younger assassin. "Too quiet," Uxel snapped. "Hold position." Suddenly, a click, then another. The youngest turned. "Did you hear that?" "No," someone else replied. "It was nothing." But then, something moved. Not fast, not loud, just there. A shadow behind a shadow. A shape without sound. "I saw," the young assassin began. But a hand covered his mouth. Too late. A body fell. No scream, no light. "Just gone." The squad spun around, weapons up. "We lost Rek." "Where did he go?" Uxel barked. "Vanished." Another flash. Another body gone. They fired in every direction, bullets hitting only stone. Then, silence again. "They're not rebels," one assassin whispered. Fall back, Uxel growled. We regroup at the surface, but the way back was gone. Collapsed, sealed. Impossible, someone said. No explosives triggered, said another. It caved in naturally. No, Uxel whispered. Not naturally. They were being hunted. Back on the Vorak ship orbiting Mars, signals went dark, one by one. Each soldier's tracker blinked out. Captain Uxel's team is not responding, said the ship's tech. The commander frowned. Maybe the caves blocked the signal. No, the tech said. The signal ends. Like they were erased. The commander ordered another team. They never returned. Weeks later, the Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. A dozen species sat in silence. A screen behind them showed maps of Mars and the vanished strike teams. This was not a rebel attack, said the Xerelian diplomat. Then who? Asked another. A deep voice answered. Earth. All eyes turned toward the man who spoke. He was old, with pale skin and sharp eyes. He wore no armor, only a gray suit. You are General Thorn? Asked the council leader. I was. The man replied. What happened on Mars? Thorn leaned forward. You sent assassins to a dead planet. But Mars is not dead. Not anymore. Explain. There were no rebels, Thorn said. It was a test. A bait. To see what you would do. A trap? No, he said. A lesson. The room fell quiet. We warned the galaxy, Thorn sighed. Earth does not want war, but if you bring it to us, you'll meet something you're not ready for. Who was down there? The council leader asked. Thorn looked around. Marines. 3 years earlier, Earth's leaders gathered in a secret base under Antarctica. War was coming. Spies told them about the Galactic Council's plan to keep Earth under control. The Council feared how fast humans were evolving. Their solution? Quiet elimination. Earth responded. They reactivated Project Phantom, the creation of soldiers unlike anything in the galaxy. The Marines. Not normal soldiers. Not just trained, but built. Grown from childhood in zero gravity. Trained in fear, silence, and shadow. They learned to move without sound, to shoot without light, to fight without being seen. Their minds were linked through neural chips. One mind, one mission, and they were angry. Back in the Martian caves, Captain Uxel's team was breaking. Only 4 remained. Traps had taken the rest. Blades from the walls. Gas that melted armor. Voices in the dark that led them in circles. They had not seen a single human, but they had seen what humans could do. Show yourself. Uxel screamed into the darkness. No answer. Only the sound of breathing. Close. Behind him. He turned fast. Too slow. A fist cracked his visor. Sparks flew. He fell. He saw a figure walk past. Black armor, smooth and silent. A helmet with no face, no lights. No words. Then darkness. A week later, a Vorak scout ship found Uxel's vessel drifting in orbit. No damage. No bodies. Inside, only a message on the main screen. You came to test our weakness. Instead, you found our warning. It was signed, TSM, Terran Space Marines. Back at the Galactic Council, panic spread. If Earth had this power, why hadn't they used it before? Because they didn't need to. Until now. They're not an army, said one council member. They're a myth. Then explain the vanished ships, said another. They have no honor, one alien spat. They don't fight face to face. They don't fight to impress, Thorn replied. They fight to end it. The council leader stood. We demand Earth hand over the Marines. Thorn smiled coldly. You want us to give you ghosts? You threaten the galaxy with secret weapons. Thorn turned to leave. We don't threaten. We protect. But if you push us. He paused at the door. We bury you. Then he was gone. Later that night, on the Moon Titan, a group of smugglers were planning to raid an Earth convoy. They were confident. They had stolen maps. They knew the route. But as they approached the asteroid field, their radar blinked. A dot, then two, then nothing. Their pilot frowned. "False signals?" a whisper came over the comms. "Turn around." They froze. "Who is this?" Silence, then a sound: footsteps. Inside the ship, but they were in space. No entry alarm. No hatch opened. Just steps. One by one, the smugglers disappeared. The last man, shaking, found a wall covered in red dust. 3 letters scratched into it. Mameri didn't finish reading the last letter. On Earth, the old Marine known as Thorn stood at the edge of a military base. Young soldiers trained in the field below. A woman approached. Her uniform was clean. Her voice was strong. "You think they'll be ready?" she asked. Thorn watched the cadets run drills. "No," he said. "Not yet." She raised an eyebrow. "But if the Council attacks again?" He looked up at the sky. "Then the galaxy will learn the full legend of the Red Planet," he said. "And the Marines won't be hiding this time." In the stars above, satellites shifted. A signal was sent. No words, only a sound, the heavy stomp of boots, and the cold metal click of Marine's helmet locking into place. The stars above the mining colony on planet Virak looked peaceful, but peace was a lie. The colony was dark, no lights, no signals, no voices. A large crater surrounded the facility, filled with broken machines and blood-stained sand. The Vorak gunship hovered above, silent and waiting. Inside, Commander Dravok watched the colony through the screen. His long fingers tapped the console. His eyes were narrowed. "Scan results?" he asked. A younger soldier replied, "No life signs. But power is still active in parts of the base." Dravok stood slowly. "This colony went dark 3 days ago. 30 humans. No survivors found. Maybe the native creatures attacked." The soldier said. Dravok shook his head. "No, there were no signs of struggle on the surface. It was clean. Fast." Another voice spoke from behind. Or maybe it was them. Everyone turned. Lieutenant Soccer stood in the doorway, tall and quiet. Dravok frowned. "You mean the Marines?" Soccer nodded. "I've heard the stories." Dravok growled. "Stories, myths, we're Vorak. We fear no one." "Then why are we circling the colony instead of landing?" Soccer asked. Dravok didn't answer. After a moment, he gave the order. "Prepare landing team. 6 of our best. Go in. Scan for survivors. Retrieve any data." "And if they are there?" Soccer asked. Dravok stared at him coldly. "Then we kill them." The team landed beside the main entrance. The air was dry and cold. Dust moved like smoke in the wind. The ground was cracked, as if something massive had walked across it. "Doors are sealed," one soldier said. "We'll need to cut through." As they began, a strange sound echoed from deep inside the base. A faint hum, like metal breathing. The soldiers froze, motion sensors picking up movement inside. Another reported. "But only for a second, then it's gone." They finished cutting the door. It dropped with a heavy clang. Darkness spilled out like fog. The Vorak switched on their helmets. Green light lit the path. The hallway stretched into blackness. Inside, everything was too clean. No bullet holes. No signs of a fight. Just emptiness. "Keep your guard up," the team leader said. "Sweep each room. Log everything." As they moved deeper, they found things that made no sense. A kitchen with warm plates, food still on them, showers running, a chair spinning slowly as if someone had just stood up. Whatever happened here? "It was fast," one soldier whispered. Door opened with a hiss. Inside was the main control room. Monitors were smashed. The floor was marked with strange burn patterns. One soldier leaned down. "These are combat marks. But not from plasma. Something else." "Check the logs," said the leader. A technician connected to the base's core. "Data corrupted, but there's one file left." "Play it." The screen blinked, then flickered to life. A man's face appeared, human, blood on his forehead. His voice was shaking. "They're not soldiers. They're not human. They came out of the shadows. No noise, no warning. They knew our names, our faces, our thoughts." He looked behind him. "If you're seeing this, leave. Leave now." "They're still here." The screen went black. The room fell silent. One soldier muttered, "What does that mean?" "Still here?" Another whispered, "Maybe he was." A loud bang came from the hallway. Everyone turned. Who fired? No one. Another sound. A slow, metal dragging noise. Then silence. The team leader raised his weapon. "Form a circle. Stay close." But it was already too late. A light above exploded. Darkness dropped over them. Something moved. Fast. A blur. One soldier screamed. His body slammed into the wall. Bones cracked. The team fired in all directions. Nothing hit. Another. Screamed. Then silence. "Who's still up?" The leader shouted. Only two voices answered. A red light flashed on the wall. The hallway cameras turned on. The screen showed the hallway behind them. Empty. Then a shape, black armor. No visible face. It moved like smoke, fast and silent. One word appeared at the bottom of the screen. Marine _unit _07 active. The leader cursed. "Fall back. Exit now." The survivors ran. Footsteps echoed behind them. But nothing was there. One tripped. Another turned to help vanished. Only one reached the entrance. He gasped for breath, hit the emergency beacon, and fell to his knees. Ship above locked onto his signal. Commander Dravok watched from the screen. "We're pulling him up. Open the bay." The soldier appeared in the docking room, shaking and bleeding. Dravok knelt beside him. "What did you see?" The soldier's voice was weak. "They didn't fight like us. They didn't shoot. They stalked us. We never saw them coming. What were they?" The soldier looked up, eyes wide with fear. "Monsters in armor," he whispered. "Their eyes, they don't blink. They don't breathe. They already know you're dead before they move." Then he went still, heart stopped. No wounds. No reason. Just fear. Dravok stood slowly. "Prepare full retreat." Soccer stepped forward. "You believe now?" Dravok's voice was low. "I believe this was not war. It was a message." Back on Earth, in a black facility below the Arctic Circle, 3 men sat in a room with no lights. Only one screen glowed. On it, video from the Vorak ship was playing. The attack, the deaths, the soldiers' final words. One man said, "They took the bait." Another replied, "The colony was empty, just a shell. But now, the council knows." The third man leaned back. "Unit 07 performed perfectly. No survivors except the one we allowed. Let's send the next signal." One button was pressed. A file was released to open networks. No source, no name, only a sound file. Heavy breathing. Boots stepping slowly. Then the word, "Marines." Across the galaxy, planets paused. Even killers stopped, because the ghosts had returned, and their message was clear. "We are watching." Deep under Earth's surface, in a cold bunker of steel and silence, a group of leaders sat at a round table. Above them, the Earth spun quietly in space. But below, plans were being made. General Mira Black stood first. Her eyes were sharp, her voice like steel. "They've started asking questions," she said. "Who?" Asked a man with gray hair and a black coat. "The Council. The Vorak, the others. After what happened on Mars and Virik. They're afraid." Another woman in uniform leaned forward. "Let them be afraid." "No," General Mira said. "We're not ready for full war. Not yet. If they force us to fight too soon, we lose." The gray-haired man nodded. "Then we tell them the truth, or part of it." Mira looked at the dark wall behind them. A screen turned on. It showed old videos, men and women training in silence, falling from ships, firing without speaking, moving like shadows. Let them see who we are, she said. Let them understand. A week later, across the galaxy, a secret message was sent to the Galactic Council. No threat, no lies. Just a file titled, "Why Earth's Marines Are Different." The Council watched the file in silence. It opened with a voice calm, cold. "Human, you think we are soldiers. You are wrong. Soldiers follow, Marines don't." The video showed a child no older than 8 running through a tunnel filled with fire. Alarms screamed. Robots fired stun rounds. The child rolled, dodged, kept moving. "We don't train to obey. We train to end things. We don't fear pain. Pain is part of the lesson." Another clip. A young woman stood in an icy lake body. Shaking, around her, other cadets sank under the freezing water. None cried, none moved. We are taught not to survive. We are taught to adapt. Others train for war. We become it. On screen, a cadet fought 3 instructors at once. Blood fell, bones cracked. The cadet kept standing. We study every species, every weakness, every habit, every fear. Footage shifted. Rooms filled with screens, each showing an alien race. Notes flashed across the images. Biological maps, chemical structures, psychological triggers. We are not made to fight. We are made to haunt. One council member leaned forward. "They built killers," another whispered. "No, they built monsters." On a small moon near the edge of council space, a researcher named Saren was watching. The video alone. He was old, slow, and had spent years studying human behavior. His assistant, a younger female named Vila, asked quietly, "Do you think they're lying?" Saren shook his head. "No, and I think this isn't even the full truth." "Then, what are they hiding?" Saren pointed to a still image of a Marine in full armor. No face, no markings. Just a dark, silent figure. "This," he said, "is not armor. It's fear turned into shape." Back on Earth, deep inside Base 9, the real truth lived. Inside a large white room stood 7 people, men and women of different races and backgrounds. Each stood still, silent, breathing slow. They were connected by thin wires leading into the ceiling. At a control desk, Dr. Rains typed commands. Next to her stood General Mira. "Unit 4 status?" Mira asked. Rains checked the screen. Brain activity linked across all 7. Heart rate sensed. Thought sharing active. Test their response. Rains pressed a button. A loud alarm blared. Instantly, all 7 dropped to the ground, rolled, found cover behind columns, and raised invisible rifles in perfect silence. Not one spoke. Not one looked confused. Rains turned to Myra. "They're more than soldiers now." "They always were," Myra replied. "Do you think the galaxy is ready to face them?" Mira looked at the black glass window in front of them. Behind it, another Marine stood alone in a room, staring at nothing. "I think," Mira said, "the galaxy will beg not to." Meanwhile, in a prison cell on the planet Yurek 3, a captured Vurak assassin sat chained to the floor. He had survived. Mars, barely. An Earth diplomat visited him alone. "You saw them," the diplomat said. The Vorak hissed, "I saw death. Tell me." The Vorak's eyes twitched. "They weren't there." And then they were. They moved like smoke. They knew where I would step before I did. Did they speak? "Only one word," the assassin said. "What word?" The alien swallowed. "Begin." On a distant space station, a group of bounty hunters planned to attack a Marine convoy. One of them, a tall armored beast named Grohl, laughed. "They can bleed like anyone else," he said. A younger hunter frowned. "Are you sure? I heard stories." "They're just humans," Grohl said. The next day, the hunters were gone. The station found only a single message written on the wall, in heat burned. Letters, blood isn't the target. Silence is. Back in council chambers, the leaders had gathered again. They've crossed the line, one shouted. Training children, using fear? They are not a people of peace. They warned us, another replied. We ignored them. What do we do now? A third asked. The room went quiet. Finally, an old and wise member spoke. We do nothing. Nothing? They don't want to rule us. They want to be left alone. Let them. Or they'll come in silence, and you won't know you're dead until the darkness reaches your lungs. On Earth, a new cadet entered the Marine program. Her name was Lena. She had no parents. No home, only scars. The drill instructor looked down at her. You scared? She nodded. Good, he said. Fear keeps you alive. He gave her a helmet. Heavy, black, cold. Put this on. You'll take it off when you're ready to disappear. Lena asked, what are we? The instructor smiled. We're the last word anyone hears before the lights go out. In the void of space, where ships drifted and stars burned cold, a single signal pulsed. It was short. Calm. Just one word. Ready. And across Earth, in places no one sees, boots moved. Silently. Because the Marines were not built to fight wars. They were made to end them. The dark room was quiet except for the low hum of computers. In the center, a large holographic map of the galaxy spun slowly. Small lights blinked, some red, some green. General Mira Black stood by the map, her face tense. Around her were her closest commanders, their eyes focused. The Council is building a weapon, Mira said. A weapon that can destroy entire moons. A murmur passed through the room. Commander Rin stepped forward. Where? In the Sirel system, on the moon Alther, Mira replied. We have one chance to stop it before it's ready. How? Asked a young officer. Mira's lips tightened. We send in the Marines. Far from Earth, hidden in deep space, a sleek black ship slid between asteroids. It was the flagship of the Terran Space Marines, the Phantom Hawk. Captain Dax stared at the stars ahead. His armor was dark, his face cold. He spoke only when needed. Prepare for mission brief, the ship's AI announced. A soft voice filled the room. Captain, new orders. The Council's weapon is nearly complete. If it activates, entire systems will fall. Dax nodded. We won't let that happen. On board the Phantom Hawk, the Marines gathered silently. No cheers, no speeches. Only cold focus. Lieutenant Kira looked around the room. Why does the Council build such a weapon? Dax answered, because they fear us. A Marine next to her frowned. Fear? They should. Kira's eyes narrowed. This mission isn't just about stopping a weapon. It's about sending a message. The ship approached Alther's orbit. The moon was gray and lifeless, but the surface held secrets. Sensors show heavy defenses, Dax said. But we're not here to fight a battle. We're here to end one. A squad of Marines moved to the airlocks. Each wore black armor, helmets sealed tight. No words, only nods. The doors hissed open. They dropped silently onto the surface. The moon was cold and empty. The Marines moved in perfect formation. Their footsteps made no sound. Target building ahead, whispered Kira. They moved closer. Suddenly, alarms blared. Trap! Dax shouted. The ground shook, walls shifted. Automated turrets emerged, firing red beams. The Marines split, dodging with speed no normal soldier could match. Kira saw a turret about to hit Dax. She pushed him aside, taking the blast herself. She fell. Darkness. Kira opened her eyes slowly. The pain was sharp. Status? Dax's voice came. Alive, she said, wincing. Good. Mission continues. Inside the building, the Marines moved with purpose. No hesitation. They hacked doors, disabled cameras, and avoided traps. At the center, a large device hummed. The weapon. It's bigger than we thought. One Marine said. Dax studied the controls. This weapon can destroy moons with a single blast. Suddenly, a voice echoed in the hall. "Stop! You don't know what you're doing." A man stepped forward. His uniform was different. The council's emblem was on his chest. "You are trespassing," he said coldly. Dax's hand moved to his rifle. The man raised his hands. "Wait, I want to help." The man introduced himself as Commander Talon, a council insider who opposed the weapon. He explained the weapon was not just a tool. It was a test to see who controlled the galaxy. If it fires, many worlds will die. But if we stop it, we can stop the council's war plans. Dax lowered his weapon but stayed alert. Suddenly, alarms changed. "Betrayal," Talon said quietly. The walls shifted again. "More turrets. Council forces incoming." The man warned. The Marines prepared for battle. The hall filled with gunfire. Dax moved like a shadow, taking out enemies silently. Kira, now steady on her feet, joined the fight. The battle was fierce. The weapons countdown began. Dax's team pushed forward, reaching the control room. "We have seconds left," Kira said. Dax hacked the system. "Disarming now." The weapon powered down. Outside, council reinforcements arrived. The Marines had to escape fast. They sprinted to their ship, dodging blasts. Once aboard, the Phantom Hawk lifted off. "Mission success," Dax reported. But Myra's voice came over comms. This was only the start. Back on Earth, the leaders watched the news. "The Council's weapons stopped," Myra said. "But now the galaxy knows Earth is not weak." A new war was coming, and the Marines were ready. The cold darkness of space stretched endlessly as the Terran ship Phantom Hawk glided through the void. Inside, Captain Dax stared at the flickering screen. The message from General Mira was clear. A trap awaited them. "We knew the Council would strike back," Dax said quietly. Lieutenant Kira folded her arms. "But this time, we're not walking into their plans." A soft beep echoed in the control room. The ship's AI spoke. "Incoming transmission." "Unknown source." Dax tapped the console. "Put it through." A hologram flickered on the screen. It was Commander Talon, the man from the weapon facility on Althar. "Captain," Talon said, his face grim, "the Council is sending a fleet to trap us at the star system Orelon. They believe the weapon failure has weakened you." Dax's eyes narrowed. "They're wrong." Talon continued. "Their plan is to force you into a narrow pass near the gas giant. The pass is full of mines and automated turrets. They expect to destroy the Phantom Hawk and your Marines." Kira leaned forward. "Then we hit them before they hit us." "Exactly," Talon said, "but you must act fast. I will guide you through the safe routes." The Phantom Hawk sped toward Orelon. The gas giant loomed ahead, its swirling storms visible even from space. "Sensors show heavy activity near the pass," the AI warned. Dax gripped the console. "Prepare the squad." The Marines assembled in the armory, suits sealed tight, helmets locking with a sharp click. "We know what's waiting for us," Dax said. "But we turned their trap into their tomb." As the ship approached the narrow pass, the hull trembled from distant explosions. "Minefield confirmed," Kira said. "We'll have to navigate precisely." The ship's AI guided them carefully. Outside, giant turrets blinked red, scanning the space for targets. Suddenly, a bright flash. A missile fired from the shadows. Evasive maneuvers. Dax shouted. The Phantom Hawk twisted sharply, dodging the blast. "Returning fire," the AI announced. Laser turrets on the ship opened up, hitting enemy vessels. Inside the ship, tension was high. The Marines suited up for deployment. "We drop into the control station," Dax said. "We need to shut down the turrets." Kira looked at her rifle. "This will be close." The drop pods launched. The pods crashed into the surface of a small asteroid inside the pass. Explosions rocked the ground. "Move," Dax ordered. The Marines sprinted through tunnels carved into the rock. "Enemy patrol ahead," whispered Kira. The team slipped into shadows. They ambushed the guards silently. No shots fired. "We're clear," Dax said. The control station came into view. A massive building covered in sensors and guns. Inside, alarms screamed. "They know we're here," Kira said. Dax nodded. "No." Time for hesitation. They planted explosives on the turret control panels. "Countdown started," said one Marine. Suddenly, footsteps thundered. A squad of Council soldiers charged. Gunfire erupted. Dax ducked behind a pillar. "Keep the line," he shouted. The Marines fought fiercely, pushing back. One by one, Council soldiers fell. Outside, the Phantom Hawk dodged missiles and fire. Hull integrity dropping, the AI reported. Dax clenched his jaw. "Hold position. Support the ground." Team. Back inside the control station, the last enemy soldier fell. "Explosives ready," Kira said. "Detonate," Dax ordered. A thunderous blast shook the building. Walls crumbled. Turrets exploded. Suddenly the lights went out. The room was silent except for a soft hiss. Kira froze. A voice whispered behind her. "Did you really think it would be that easy?" From the shadows stepped a figure in dark armor, a Marine. But this Marine was different. His helmet was cracked and his movements were slow, almost mechanical. Dax turned, weapon raised. "Who are you?" The figure's visor glowed faint red. I'm the ghost you never expected." Before they could react, he lunged. The fight was brutal. The ghost Marine moved with inhuman speed and strength. Kira was thrown across the room. Dax fired repeatedly, but the figure seemed to predict every move. Suddenly, the ghost's helmet shattered, revealing not a human face, but a cybernetic skull. With glowing eyes, "It's a machine," Kira gasped. Dax realized. The Council has made their own Marines. The ghost charged again, but the Marines regrouped. Using teamwork and quick thinking, they trapped it in an energy net. The creature hissed and struggled, but was held fast. Dax looked at the broken helmet. "This changes everything." Outside, the Phantom Hawk prepared to leave. The mission was a success. The trap was broken. The fleet was scattered. But the threat was greater than ever. The Council had created a new kind of Marine, one without mercy, without fear, without humanity. Back on Earth, General Mira watched the report in silence. "They're escalating," she said. "But so are we," her second-in-command replied. Mira nodded. "Prepare the next phase. The galaxy will see what true Marines are made of." In the silence of space, the last message from the Phantom Hawk was sent. The trap was reversed. But the war is only beginning. Captain Dax sat alone in the briefing room aboard the Phantom Hawk, staring at the frozen image on the screen. It was the Ghost Marine, half man, half machine. Its lifeless eyes still glowed faint red, even in death. Kira entered quietly, holding a data pad. "They recovered something," she said. From its memory core, Dax looked up. "Play it." The screen blinked, then a strange image appeared. A secret facility, deep under the surface of a rocky moon. Rows of bodies floated in glass tubes. Some looked human. Others didn't. "What is this?" Kira whispered. The voice of General Mira echoed from the recording. "Project Genesis, the beginning and the end." Back on Earth, General Mira stood in a hidden chamber deep beneath Marine Command. She stared at the frozen chamber. Inside was a young woman, unconscious but breathing. Tubes ran into her arms. Machines buzzed softly. An aide stepped forward. "The Phantom Hawk team found the Council's clone." Mira didn't look away from the girl in the tube. "They don't know what we did first." The aide hesitated. "Should we tell them?" "No," Mira said. "Not yet." On the Phantom Hawk, Dax gathered the squad. "We were told the Marines are the best," he began. "But no one ever told us why." Kira leaned forward. "What if we weren't just trained to be strong? What if something else made us like this?" Another Marine, Juno, frowned. "You're saying we were created?" Dax nodded slowly. I think we need answers. And I think Mira has them. They set course for a dead zone, a classified area off the official star maps. Coordinates match the site from the clone's memory, Kira said. It's old. Buried under a red moon called Aegis. As they approached, clouds of magnetic storm surrounded them. We'll need to go in stealth, Dax ordered. The ship landed in silence. The team stepped out, moving through broken rock and harsh winds. Finally, they found it, a black door hidden in the side of the cliff. No markings, Kira noted. No warnings. They entered. Inside, the air was cold. Lights flickered weakly, and then they saw it. A giant lab. Dozens of pods lined the walls. Human shapes floated inside. Clones, Juno said, his voice shaking. No, Dax whispered. Us, he pointed at a pod. Inside floated a man with Dax's exact face. Sir ... Kira whispered, horrified. What does this mean? A soft voice behind them answered. It means the truth. They turned fast, weapons up. An old man stepped out of the shadows, wearing a white lab coat. I am Dr. Ralvin, he said calmly. And this ... is where the first Marines were born. What are you talking about? Dax demanded. Dr. Ralvin looked around the lab with a sad smile. After Earth's first contact with alien life, we learned quickly that strength alone wouldn't protect us. So the Council of Earth approved a secret plan, Project Titan. He pointed at the pods. We took the best soldiers. We copied their minds. We enhanced their bodies. We created Marines who would never tire, never hesitate, never fear. Kira stepped forward. Are you saying we're clones? No, Ralvin said. You are ... versions. You are born, trained, and tested. But your DNA comes from these prototypes. Dax stared at his sleeping copy. Why didn't anyone tell us? Ralvin sighed. Because the truth is dangerous. Some versions went mad. Some questioned their orders. Others simply ... broke. Alarms suddenly blared. Red lights flashed. Council forces approaching. The ship's eye warned. They found us, Kira said. Ralvin shook his head. No, she sent them. Who? Dax asked. General Mira, he said. She wants this place erased. No more evidence. No more questions. Outside, dropship screamed. Through the air, Council troops landed fast. We have to go, Dax said. Ralvin grabbed a chip from the wall. Take this. It has the full truth. I'm coming with you, he added. I helped build this lie. I want to destroy it. They ran through fire and bullets. The Marines fought like demons, pushing through waves of soldiers. Kira was hit in the leg but kept moving. Juno tossed grenades behind them, clearing the way. As they reached the ship, a council mech landed in front of them, 10 feet tall, heavily armed. Get down, Dax yelled. The Marines opened fire, but the mech didn't fall. Then Dr. Ralvin stepped forward. He held out a small device and pressed a button. The mech froze. What? Kira gasped. Failsafe code, Ralvin said. They built these things using my blueprints. They escaped just before the mountain exploded behind them. From orbit, the red moon split in half. The lab was gone, but the truth was now in their hands. Aboard the Phantom Hawk, Dax stared at the data chip. All this time, we weren't just soldiers. We were part of something bigger. Ralvin spoke softly. Your strength, your courage, those are real. No machine made that. You may have come from science, but you chose to be Marines. Kira nodded. We fight for each other, not for secrets, Juno smirked. Still gonna punch Myra in the face when I see her. Everyone laughed. In the command center back on Earth, Mira watched a burning feed from Aegis. An aide whispered, they escaped. And they have Ralvin. Mira turned away. Then the final move begins. Alert our deep unit. Tell them, release Protocol Zeta. She looked at the stars. If they want to know the truth, they'll see all of it. The screen aboard the Phantom. Hawk blinked. A strange symbol appeared, not human. Not Council.Alien. Dax stared at it. This just got bigger. The message appeared on every screen of the Phantom Hawk. A symbol, alien and old, pulsed with red light. No language. No sound. Just that symbol. A spiral of fire wrapped in broken stars. Kira stared at it. That's not from Earth. No, Dr. Ralvin whispered. It's from them. Dax turned to him. From who? Ralvin's face went pale. The ones we copied. The command deck fell silent. Even the hum of the ship felt distant. Ralvin finally spoke again. Decades ago, before Earth joined the Galactic community, a probe found a dead world. No life, but remains. Technology like nothing we'd seen. A being part flesh, part machine. Frozen in battle armor. He looked at the spiral symbol. We didn't just copy our best soldiers. We mixed them with this. Juno stepped back. You mean Marines are part alien? Ralvin nodded slowly. The alien body we found wasn't just a warrior. It was a weapon. Designed to survive, adapt, and spread. Dax clenched his fists. So Myra's project didn't just enhance us. She infected us. No, Ralvin said. She thought she controlled it. But this message means the source isn't dead. Kira looked back at the screen. Then it's calling to us. Alarms suddenly blared. Long-range sensors picking up Something, said the ship's unidentified vessel. Mass, enormous. Structure, unknown. Dax gave the order, put it on screen. The stars shifted. And then it appeared. Ship the size of a moon. Black, covered in twisted metal and glowing veins. It didn't move through space. It bent space around it. What is that? Juno asked. Kira's voice trembled. It's not a ship. It's alive. The alien ship sent another signal. But this time, it wasn't a symbol. It was a voice, low, cold, and inside every Marine's head. You are broken pieces of us. Return, or be erased. Dax fell to one knee, grabbing his head. Kira screamed. Juno smashed his fist into a wall to block the sound. Ralvin stepped forward. It's activating something in you. A command buried deep in your cells. We have to fight it, Dax said, standing slowly. We are not them. General Myra's face appeared on the comm screen. You made contact, didn't you? She said, I warned the Council. They didn't believe it could return. You knew this would happen, Dax growled. I prepared for it, Myra said. You are the only weapons that can resist it. But only if you obey. No, Kira said coldly. We don't obey secrets anymore, Myra frowned. Then you'll die like the last version did. The comm cut. A second later, missiles launched from Earth's orbit. Hostile action detected, the AI warned. From Earth? Juno shouted. They're trying to kill us too. They want to destroy the evidence, Ralvin said. Even if it means killing you, Dax took command. Kira, get us out of range. Juno, activate stealth mode. Ralvin, how do we stop that thing? Ralvin looked out at the massive alien ship. It's not just a ship, it's a memory. It stores every battle, every life it took. You can't beat it with force. Then what? Dax asked. Ralvin hesitated. You connect to it. You show it what you've become. Let it inside our minds? Kira asked. That's suicide. Or salvation, he said. If it sees you're more than a weapon, it may stop. They approached the creature ship slowly. Inside, strange gravity pulled at them. The Marines felt their heads spin, as if memories not their own were surfacing. Battles they never fought, languages they didn't speak, pain they'd never felt. This isn't just a ship, Juno said. It's a graveyard, Dax nodded. It remembers everything, including what it once was. In the center of the vessel, a chamber opened. Black walls pulsed with red light. At the heart was a throne, and on it sat ... a figure ... tall, armored, half metal, half flesh, its eyes open. Glowing gold. "You are shards," it said. "Broken from the source." Dax stepped forward. "We are human. We're not your weapons anymore. You feel fear," it said. "You were made to forget. Now fear returns." The figure raised its hand. Instantly, all four Marines dropped to the ground. Screaming ... images slammed into their minds, worlds burning, skies torn open, screens of alien races as this creature destroyed them. "You will kneel," it said, but Dax didn't kneel. He stood. "We feel fear," he said, voice shaking, "but that makes us stronger. You think you gave us power. You're wrong. We made the choice to fight." Kira stood too. "You're not our master," Juno raised his weapon. "We're Marines." The ship trembled. The creature's throne cracked. It looked confused. "For the first time in thousands of years. You resist. We choose," Dax said. "That's what makes us human." A blast of light erupted. The alien ship screamed. A sound that shook space itself. Then it shattered, not from weapons, but from memory. Its own legacy, now broken by its children. The Marines fell to their knees, gasping for air. But it was over. The creature was gone. Back on Earth. Mira watched in silence. "They did it," her aide said. She nodded slowly. "Now they know the truth. All of it." On the Phantom Hawk, the crew stood together in silence. Relvin looked at the stars. "You beat the fear," he said. "No," Dax replied. "We faced it. That's different," Kira smiled. "Maybe now the galaxy will understand why Marines are feared," Juno chuckled. "I just want a drink." Everyone laughed, but deep inside, they all knew something had changed. They were no longer just weapons. They were legends.